excited to be hosting local artist Yolanda Perez in our next class exhibit. We're going to be opening that show on the first Thursday here at the Mildred Building, February the 4th. And her show will be running all the way through February, and with a final show on the first Thursday of March. That'll be March the 3rd. And Yolanda has agreed to come with you this morning and visit with us, tell us a little bit about her art, and we're excited that she's here. Yolanda, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I understand that today's a very special day for you.
Yes, it's actually my 28th birthday, so I'm super excited to be here. What a great birthday gift.
Wow, well, good. Yolanda, how long have you been painting?
Painting maybe since about when I started when I was a little kid, but just kind of something to do. It was never really where my heart was. I always did more like fibrous work and ceramics. Those are my first love. I started doing a lot of paintings when I moved here to Beaumont, since it was better to, easier to travel with.
Yeah. Well now, so travel. You moved here in Beaumont how long ago?
Last July, and not this past one, the one before, and that last February, like almost a year ago, coming up on this date for the show, is when I actually entered the Beaumont art scene through the art studio. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, where we're going?
Well, good. Well, so Yolanda, you moved here from where?
Savannah, Georgia. That's where I went to art school. And that was the longest place I ever lived. So, but
moved around a lot.
I did move around a lot. I was a Navy kid growing up and down the East Coast. And then after I went to college, I taught abroad in South Korea and Australia. Wow. So actually, before I moved here, I was living there and then came straight here first.
Wow. So how did you wind up teaching like in South Korea? Because your dad was stationed there?
Oh, no, not at all. I remember a long time ago when I was in high school, some college kids I heard talking about how you can teach abroad English, and I was like, I want to travel and do that. Cool. So you get your degree and you get your certification, and you can basically, they pay for you to go and you teach, and it was amazing.
I bet the influence of other cultures like that was broadening to your art.
Yes, I'm going to have some photographs in the show, actually, of some of those places that I went to.
Wonderful. Well, was there any point in your life that you started taking art seriously, like a possible career, where you were maybe some incident or event or something that caused you to really see that this was something you wanted to do?
When I was in high school, I was very concentrated in ceramic arts, and it's always been like my first love. I used to like dig for clay when I was a kid, and so I got really serious about it, and I had sold a few of my pieces, and I was really excited about it, and I chose my university based on their ceramics program, and I didn't really start taking it seriously because I was like general studies when I went into university. I wasn't sure. I know I wanted to do art, but I wasn't as confident in it since my parents didn't approve. And I said, you know what, I'm paying for this. So I'm going to take a few art classes and see what I'm doing. And I had a professor, and she believed in me. She's like, you need to change your major and do this.
Wow.
And she's like, I'll be your guide,
yeah.
and I believe in you. And you know what? Even 2 years into my program, I was still like hesitant. And then there was one class that really was a turning point for me after that, where I said, you know what? I can do this.
So wow, that's really. So you went into the art studies because of your interest in ceramics. But then you really had some kind of epiphany in school to realize that this was really something inside you wanted to share.
Yes.
Good.
She encouraged me to enter a show there, and I didn't take it very seriously, and I actually won. So that's where it like really changed. That was the event.
So you did it kind of to have fun.
Yeah.
And realize
just to explore.
Yeah. Well, now in your ceramics, do you work in certain kinds of clay, or just is it more the tactile effect of it, or
I'm a better 3D person than I am 2D. So I'm a better sculptor than a draftsman. And I make sculptures and ceramics, and that started really young. I do like making more functional things because it's beautiful and you can use it. I love that. Not just things that take up space. Yeah, it's beautiful decoration, but I just love that concept of things with a purpose.
So you work not just in ceramics and in paintings. You still work in fibers?
Oh yes, fibers. I didn't even know that was a thing until university, and that was the class that I took that really changed it all for me. I come from a long line of seamstresses in my family, so creating things happened when I was really young. My mother and my grandmother taught me how to sew and crochet and like do all this like creative stuff, so that's where it like really happened when I was a kid. And I was like, what? This is an art form all along? I've been doing this my whole life. I love it. And so I started to explore the fine arts aspect of fibers and started doing like large fabric paintings, assemblages, and things like that. Mixed media. So.
Do you find that your themes cross over?
Oh, definitely.
Mediums?
That's what connects my work, are the themes, the textures, motifs, the colors I use. They all tie together because I am all over the place. Like I love to explore with my art and art mediums. I'm a little ADD about it. I'm like, I want to try this technique, this technique. Oh my gosh, there's just so much. I don't feel like you could live long enough to try everything, but I'm gonna try.
Do you think the themes that you choose, they evolve, or like you focus on one thing and then move on to something else when you feel like you've done all you want to do in that area, or have you gotten that far?
I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied with anything that I do. Part of my process is like, if I don't hate it halfway through, then it's not going to be good. So like, I struggle with that. And I'm like, I hate this, and then keep working, and I'm like, all right, it's all right.
Oh,
it's okay.
Yeah.
And then
it's like some relationship.
It is. It's a total intimacy thing for me.
Yeah. Well, okay, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Well, now this painting that you brought today, what's the title of this painting? Eternal. Okay, we're going to stop there because it's on the back. Yolanda, I'd like to ask you about this painting you brought with you today. It's called Eternal Love, but I also see the Sacred Heart emblem coming through on it, and there's obviously some symbolism with the 3 roses and the sword and the lily. Tell me something about it.
This is very religious iconography. I grew up in a very religious home, and so some of this imagery does like seep into my work and through culture and things like that. And I've always been fascinated with the Sacred Heart, and I thought it's always so raw and beautiful and like courageous about it. And when you see this one's like a stained glass kind of motif as well, like resembling that, like you would maybe see in a church with a crossover style with like kind of tattoo art. So this kind of iconography, like the roses, are symbols. Like there's 3 of them for like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and for the lily, that's the resurrection. That's what it represents, and the fire is the flames and coming back.
And let me guess, the sword would be like a piercing Mary's heart, knowing that she was going to give up her only person.
And it also represents during when Jesus was crucified, he was pierced. But
well, I'm glad you pointed out. I can really see this.
Yeah.
First window.
Yeah. Thank you.
What meaning?
This is acrylic. year I've actually dedicated more of my work to acrylic painting since it's easier to travel with, and I've been doing like little pop-up shows here and there since about maybe April. So I did a whole series of these Sacred Hearts and a couple of different styles just to explore. So it's the same image but translated in different styles. And like I said, I love be all over the place and try different things.
So in the show that we're going to have, you'll have several of these.
Oh, definitely.
Different interpretations of the same thing.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. And you're also going to have some ceramics.
Yes, I'm going to have a few ceramics, some photographs, and some prints. Yes.
Speaking of things, brought one with you this morning that I'd like to talk about. It's kind of a sepia tone, and it's part of a woman's face.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So I admired this photographer that he used to do these themes of like a woman's mouth and put like raw meat and all kinds of like weird things and different positions, and I wanted to do something similar because I like that imagery of just like the mouth. And I have this beautiful friend who wanted to be my model, and she let me do some crazy stuff to her mouth. God bless her. She's a talented photographer as well back in Savannah, and she has the most beautiful mouth. And so I was like, hey, let me just put these burning candles in your mouth. Is that cool? And she's like, yeah. So we were like in my bathroom during this photo shoot, and I lit these birthday candles, and they burned fast. She's a brave soul, and so it just turned out so beautiful with the light. And
So do you do your own development?
I do my own developing and editing and things like that. There's a dark room down at the studio. I haven't accessed it yet, but
I was glad you were saying about the art studio because it's such a fantastic.
yeah.
I know that they have some photographs developing stuff. Do you have a studio?
I do have a studio space there. I'm downstairs in the ceramics area, and my paintings and other medium, I work at home.
Well, we are really looking forward to the show.
Thank you.
I think you're just fascinating. I think your work is very exciting, and I'm so glad that you agreed to come here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of it.
I hope you all will come out and meet Yolanda. That's February 4th, the first Thursday here at the Mildred Building. We'll be open from 5 to 9, and her work will be here on display and for sale the whole month of February and through March the 3rd. So please come and meet her and just come by for a visit. Thank you for watching.